even know the on button.
Okay. High tech for me. Yeah. Serene.
Coach, we saw that Evan was upgraded to questionable on the latest injury reports. What have you seen from Evan behind the scenes over the past 6 weeks just to get him to the point of where he is now?
I mean, as odd as this may sound, in the very beginning, he found a silver lining in it. And I think that helped him recover more quickly, take steps in the right direction more quickly, because he didn't use it as a moment to hang his head. It was interesting because he just went right to the work, and how do you get better? He was supposed to be on crutches a certain amount of days, but he didn't want to do it, so he did what he had to do to get off the crutches early. Everything he did was extremely purposeful and with a positive attitude that, again, I believe impacted how quickly he was able to get back to where he is now. And because of the work he put in and because of his mindset.
When you say silver lining, I guess what was it?
He said he just wants to use this time to get better. And he watched film, he watched us play, he worked on his shooting. He didn't use it at any moment as an excuse or time off. He literally got right back to work as soon as he could get out of the bed. And it was it was impressive. Because typically, there's that hangover of, kind of woe is me and how it is. It wasn't there. And from day one, it was positivity. How do I get better from this? And that was his focus. And I guess I expect to see those same results.
As you do start to integrate these guys back, what areas of focus just kind of become most important for you?
It's difficult, obviously, but, fit in. Use your skill set to fit what the team is doing. And I think his unselfish nature, his ability to defend multiple positions is smooth, right? It's a smooth transition. Obviously, there's going to be some ups and downs for him. You don't play NBA basketball for 6 weeks. It's never going to be, seamless. But as far as his contribution to the team, we don't expect that to change because of, we want to play selfless basketball. That's Evan Mobley. We want to defend. That's Evan Mobley. So, we don't expect, dramatic changes. Just an opportunity for him to continue to be who he is.
Tom?
When did you find your silver lining?
What's that?
When did you find your silver lining?
I'm hoping when it gets back. No, again, the whole process was, obviously an interesting one because there was so many guys down. People obviously focus on the time of, Evan and Darius being out, but through that stretch, Donovan went down, Karras went down. We had a lot of bodies, that were missing. Sam came and played, and then Sam got hurt. We had a bunch of guys kind of in and out. And what we saw as we kind of went through it was everybody got an opportunity, and everybody found a way to contribute, and it made the team better. And I think, once we saw how we leaned on each other, it made us a better collective, and it made us a better team, which is what we've continued to focus on.
What kind of minutes restriction are you going to have Evan on initially?
He'll be 20 to 24-ish, somewhere around there.
And how close is Darius?
Darius is extremely close.
Wednesday close?
He's extremely close.
Chris? Hey, JB.
What's up, Chris?
When it comes to Evan, I don't know how many people thought we were going to have this conversation about him questionable 6 weeks after the surgery. In any way, do you marvel at his ability to recover from injuries? I think every single time he's been hurt, he's beaten the timeline.
Yeah, and again, I'm not, I don't know what the proper word for this is, but there is something to your mindset when you go into these situations, right? There is some sort of, and I get, we've seen it with other illnesses and health-related things, what your mind tells your body and your spirit impacts how well you recover and the things that you heal from. And the way that Evan approaches all these things is it's not going to set him back. And he just takes that approach, and time again, we've seen it work. So again, it's a credit to him. It's a credit to the power of the mind, but it's a credit to his spirit as well.
You were mentioning his role. Where does he fit within the offense in the way that you play now?
I think he's another trigger. He's a guy who you can put the ball in his hands, and now you can continue to work two-sided actions. He's a selfless player. He's a guy who can defensive rebound and push the ball up the floor, which helps us initiate our break more quickly, put more pressure on the defense earlier in the clock. Finding his spots offensively. We don't tell Evan Mobley no. There's very few guys on our team that we tell no. If their shots are there, take your shot. If the drive is there, drive the ball. If the pass is there, make the pass. So, again, that gives opportunities for guys to kind of, just be a part of it. And everybody knows their role and has embraced that. And so, we expect Evan to continue to get better and contribute and help us win games.
Thank you.
Ryan.
We've seen a few 70-point games over the last few years, let alone the last couple of weeks. Is a 100-point game, do you feel it's viable or possible in today's game?
I mean, it's tough, obviously. I think you're hard-pressed to get to 100, to be honest with you. But, again, you see the skill set of these guys. The rules are in place for guys to score the ball. Is it out of the question? No. But I think it'd be extremely hard for it to happen.
You're not a betting man, but if you were, is there one or two guys that you'd say if they decided to really go for it, they could pull it off?
I think the guys who have the ability to dominate the painted area and get to the free throw line are the guys that give themselves a chance. I think it's hard to get there solely on jump shots. You have to be a guy that can put pressure on the rim, get to the free throw line, make your threes when there. But I just think it's, it's extremely difficult for you to get to 100 the way, you hope coaches can game plan to get the ball out of your hand if you're just going to be a guy that's shooting jumpers.
Joe.
You guys have so embraced the way that you started to play once Darius and Evan went out, and you lead the league in threes or something close to that. With Evan back, now you're going to have two guys on the floor, bigs who do not shoot threes. How do you continue to stay with that program with chucking all those threes?
If Evan is open behind the three-point line, we've talked to him, he's got to take those shots. One of the things that I think, and we've seen him in practice, he has the ability to make those shots. But it's difficult in a game if you're only going to shoot one a game or one every 2 weeks. So we want Evan to take those shots. If teams want to play off of him, he's open in his spot. Shoot the ball, put the work in, continue to work like he has, but take those shots. But there's also places on the floor where our bigs can work in small spaces together, and we're not solely reliant on the three. Like, we want rim shots. So we can create layups, lobs, dunks from big to big. Like, we'll take those also. And then that means defenses have to make different decisions, and then the spray outs become available. But, again, if you're open, shoot it. And there's a different mindset and preparation when you have that thought process.
I think Dean, as a starter, shoots 5 or 6 threes a game. Can Evan do that? Can you ask him to shoot that many a game?
Yeah, but I think where you'll see the difference is obviously, Evan will move some of his minutes to the 5, and then other guys around him will be on the perimeter. So he won't have to get to that spacing all the time. He'll have his paint, rim, dunker spacing as well, where, he's a threat at the rim. So, 4 or 5 threes I don't think is out of the question. Again, it's just, are you comfortable enough to take that many? And if not, you just make the right basketball play, which is what Evan is capable of.
Right, second row.
So, Coach, just want to make sure I'm hearing this correctly. So, ideally, does that mean Evan and Jared on the floor at the same time, Evan more in a stretch role, or big picture, like, do you see that as the formula, or will it be like more staggered in their minutes?
They're going to play together quite a bit, as we continue to elevate Evan's minutes. But again, we want Evan to blend where he's been. We want him to be on the perimeter, but he's such a good player in small spaces. We don't want to limit that either. And then again, it may be a little bit difficult tonight with minutes, being shortened. But like, they're going to get, minutes. Evan will get minutes at the backup 5, where now there's 4 shooters around him and he's in the interior, so you can kind of pity pat those guys back and forth. But typically, to start games and finish games, you're going to have Evan and Jared on the floor at the same time.
Nate.
JB, in addition to the threes, what are the things you're going to emphasize as priorities that you found in this 18-game stretch without Darius and Evan? when you guys have gone 14-4 that you must continue to do, that you find as necessity moving forward?
I mean, our defense has been phenomenal, and that can't change. You know, we've been. I think our guys looked it up. You know, the Clippers have been the number one offense since December 1st, and we've been the number one defense since December 1st. So for us, that can't change. You know, we have to continue to defend at a high level, and that's what gives us an opportunity to win basketball games, is being able to know that we can put together stops on demand. You know, offensively, nothing changes, right? The ball has to move, bodies have to move. We've got to be difficult to guard. You know, people have to feel like they're chasing us. So it's not just about the threes. You know, it's about how we create those threes. And, you know, the majority of our threes are assisted or potential assisted. You know, not many of them are, you know, individual create, off the bounce, find their own. So we just have to continue to do those things.
Last one, Jason.
I don't want to belabor the point, but when you said, since I think you got here, that you want to have shooting threes if they're there, but is there more of an emphasis on that now? Is it more important now because you guys have had such good success this last month or so? Is it more important to get that through to him to take? Is that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, again, we want all of our guys to be the most aggressive, confident version of themselves, right? We're not going to put guys in positions where they feel uncomfortable or awkward. You know, so Evan, and we've proven to be good enough offensively with him and J.A. on the floor and them playing, you know, the short game and the pocket roll and the big and the sprays and those things. But I do think it's a part of, you know, Evan's development and growth is being confident enough to take those threes from behind the line. You know, this opportunity and the changes that kind of happened, you know what I mean, like, can help kind of push that forward a little more quickly. And it's one of those things where it's what his teammates see and say to him as well, right? Like, we've had some guys that have been reluctant, you know, to take as many threes as we're looking for. But the teammates have put so much pressure on them that they're just like, you know, the hell with it. I got to do it. So I think that this will help Evan because, again, like, he's such a coachable kid, so, you know, wants to be a part of the team, wants to help the team, that now this gives him a little bit of added incentive, you know, to step in out of his comfort zone and get him up and then kind of go from there.
He's clearly put in the work. We've all seen it. Is his confidence there, though, do you think, to take those shots?
Yeah, it's I believe so, but I also believe with Evan, like, Evan a lot of times is looking for the next play. So it's hard to shoot it when you're looking for the next play, and then you're like, oh no, now I got to shoot it, right? So, you know, there's been some, you know, really good point guards in our league who've had that same mentality, and it's been, you know, it's difficult. So it does take a little bit of a, you know, like a force, and again, stepping outside your comfort zone to go ahead and do it. And then once you get comfortable in it, then it becomes easy. But we just got to help him get those repetitions. And again, us teammates, you know, everybody's supporting him to take those shots.
Just gonna wrap